Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome to Homesteading on the Homefront. My name is Lynette, and it's been a hot minute. It is Friday, July 25th, 2025. The last time I filmed was in January, so I have some catching up to do. I've been watching everyone's mid-year WIP parades and loving them, so I decided this would be a great time to film my own. I don't have as many WIPs as a lot of people, but I have enough for me. That's what counts. It's a hot, gross day here in Massachusetts. I don't like summer. I melt in the heat. The garden is a mess. It happens every year this time if you're a gardener and you're just overwhelmed with the weeds and the tomatoes that need to be pruned and all sorts of things. I'm here to tell you it happens every year at this time. Come September 1st and the weather cools down, and it'll take a couple days to get in there and clean it up good, but you'll be okay again. I just picked a zucchini this morning that got away from me. Okay, so let's start with some FOs. I have been stitching since January, mostly on a couple of projects. I got almost 0 stitching done in the month of May, and I picked it up again the end of June. So, I was putting in a garden and all that good stuff. So during the month of April, I was mostly stitching on this. Our table at Stitch New England decided that we were going to do an Erin Elizabeth Sal starting on April 1st. We got to meet Erin Elizabeth at Stitch New England. We thought it was a good idea. And so it was a good idea. I say that like it wasn't. It was a good idea. This is the one that I chose. I know that most of us did different projects. So it was fun to see what everyone did. I finished stitching mine, I don't know. It didn't take that long, obviously. And I'm starting to FFO it. I don't know that I was born to make oval ornaments, but it is what it is. I visited with Helen's tutorial, and that's how far I got. Do I have any idea what's going to happen to it now? Hopefully it'll be done in time for fair. Our fair is always Labor Day weekend. They brought back the Christmas ornament category this year, which is good, because in the cross-stitch categories, you can only enter one item less than 6x6 or a lot, not a lot as in many, but one lot of things under 6x6. So without the Christmas ornament category in a separate department, I couldn't really enter my Christmas ornaments. But now that they've brought the Christmas ornament category back, I will happily enter. So that was that. For those of you who have been with me for the past, I think it took me 4 years, I am happy to announce that my state series, I should call it the State and U.S. Territory series, is complete. I finished stitching Guam. If you're new here, my husband is retired Navy, and I decided to stitch all the states that we were stationed in. So Guam was the second to the last state. He finished his career in Newport, Rhode Island, which also happened to be our first state. So that got stitched first. And here is Guam. I don't have all the states in the bag, but we moved to Guam from Virginia. And we moved to Virginia from Illinois. and we didn't move to Illinois from Maryland. We were stationed in Maryland, and then my husband got sent overseas, and so the girls and I went home to Massachusetts. I already stitched Massachusetts, and I don't have it with me, but those are the 4. So I'm missing Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I thought there were 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm confusing myself. Maybe there's only 6. Who knows? Too old to remember these things. Anyway, I'm actually sad that this series is over. And I wasn't sad when I finished it. I was happy. But I had forgotten what great retreat stitching this was, right? I would just outline the states in black, and I would just fill in at retreats. I would do the flowers at home when I, could count. But the fill-in was so great, and I don't have a great fill-in retreat piece right now. I have one, and I will explain why it's not great in a minute. So anyway, those are a couple of my finishes since January. Have there been more? Maybe. Didn't bother to go back and look. All right, so in no particular order, I'm just going to talk about my WIPs as I pull them out of the bag. The first one I've owned this chart for a while. It came out at market probably 5 years ago. Does it say? Copyright 2018. So maybe 7 years ago. I don't know. I loved it. I never stitched it. And then last year, the Flosstube community lost Daleen at So Grateful. And I wanted to stitch something in her memory. I never got to meet Daleen. She lived in Washington, and I'm here in Massachusetts. But she was a military spouse. She was a gardener, stitcher. We shared our faith. And so we communicated back and forth. And I wanted to do something to honor her. And so because she was a gardener, I thought this was a great piece. And this just reminded me of Daleen. There's a picture of her in her hat, and so that's going to be Daleen. So I'm making a few changes to this, but this is what I have so far. So I added in the alphabet because I needed to elongate the sampler in order to make it fit into a standard size frame. So I added in the alphabet. I will put 2025 in here. I'm going to put Daleen's favorite Bible verse here. There's some things I still need to fill in, and then I just need to stitch Daleen and fill in here, and this one will be done. And so the goal is to finish this on August 3rd, which would be the 1 year of her passing. I may or may not be able to get to it, but that's the goal. I definitely want to enter this into the fair, so I need to finish it and get it mounted or stretched and, no, what am I doing to it? Lacing it. I'm lacing it. I should have showed you. I put the chickens here to honor Daleen instead of, I don't know, I think these floral motives. And I took the chickens or the roosters from the Keisha Smith sampler, which I bought because of them. So someday I hope to stitch this for me. but the roosters will be a repeat. And yeah, I realized I should have made them chickens, but I already stitched the roosters, so it is what it is. So that is WIP 1. WIP 2, I bought 2 Aprils ago at Hobby House, and I started it this April while I was up there at the Grape Escape Stitching with Friends. I had seen this. It didn't do anything for me until I saw the actual model in person, and it was stunning. And so I set about trying to find the perfect green. It is called for Colonial Green. And I started stitching on it, and I couldn't do it. It was not fun. And I also, it looked more forest green than the model or the picture. And so I went back to Hobby House, since it was 5 minutes down the road, and they had just gotten in a shipment. What is this? Arboreal, I think it is, Cedar River. And so I got the Arboreal. Now, I'm gonna have to, I don't know if you can see, I actually stitched the A there in the called for color, but it blends in too much. So I had to switch colors. I'm gonna have to take the A out and restitch it. I'm doing mostly whatever colors I had in stash. It's not showing up real great, but so mostly at the retreat in April, I just did the top here because I could do it without counting. I worked on it one more time at home, I think, and then I also worked on it at Stitch Main. So at Stitch Main, I did mostly like these interior borders, and I did some of the sides down here, any counting, because I knew if I tried to count, it would not end well. So this one is going to take a while. And that's fine. Several of us started it together in April. I think most of us ended up going with the Arboreal. So that's WIP 2. WIP 3 is so close to being done. I don't know why I just don't finish this. I mean, I have to finish it because I need to get it done for the fair. So it will be done at some point. It is this one. I've been working on it. If you've been here, you've seen it. But literally, like, see, this is the bottom. I'm not doing 2 of the kids because they looked weird. And I changed the porch because I also didn't like the people standing on the porch. I thought they looked weird too. And I couldn't figure out what this thing or this thing was supposed to be. So I'm stitching off script, as it were, and I just need to finish up because it's frankly a little ridiculous that it's been sitting for so long. I think I need to finish up here too, but after the Daleen sampler, I'll take a few days and finish this up so that I can get it ready for the fair. It is a companion piece to the one that I stitched last year for my snow day project. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. That's my 3rd WIP. Might have said 4th, but I was counting bags I shouldn't have been counting. Okay, for this one, if you are my eldest child, you need to stop watching. She knows I'm stitching it for her. She picked out the fabric. But she doesn't know I started it. This is what it's going to be. I feel like, Helen, you need this for your nerd wall. Now, this should be a great retreat piece, right? Because you know I outlined everything first and now I'm just filling in. However, in order to make it fit into a standard frame, I had to stitch it on 22 count instead of my preferred 20 count. And it's not easy. 22, there's a difference between 22 count and 20 count, let me tell you. So, I worked on this a little at Stitch Main. So basically, I've stitched these 3 and now I am on to Tall Guy. My daughter would know the name of the character. I do not. I'm stitching it on, I don't know what it's called, from Be Stitch Me. Yeah, I don't have the tag in here. But she picked out the fabric, so it looked kind of, you know, mystical. 4th WIP. All right, number 5. Oh my goodness. Number 5, you've seen it, you've loved it. Dutch Beauty. This was supposed to be my Monogamania project, but like I said, there was no stitching in May, so it didn't get done. I am planning on working on this for Back to School and Sampler September. I am almost done 7 pages. So this is the halfway mark, I think. So I am not across yet, but I am all the way to the bottom. So I think I did 3 pages and then 4 pages. I'm 7 pages in, basically, with the exception of, like, I didn't fill her in because this is another one that I've started with some of my retreat friends. And so I wanted to be able to stitch on it at retreats with them. So I filled in her dress at the Grape Escape. And I'm sure there are other places that need, yeah, like the rabbit needs to be filled in. So, yeah, I love stitching on this when I get to it. I think the last time I stitched on it was in the winter time. But like I said, hopefully there will be stitching on this for September. So I think that's WIP 5. Lost count. There aren't that many. And this one, this would be WIP 6. I do have a 7th WIP, but it's a little teeny tiny secret stitch, so I didn't even bother bringing it. This one, I must have told you about in January, because I started it I think it was my New Year, New Start. And I might have cheated and started a little early because we were in Nebraska visiting family. I don't have a picture of it. I could show you a picture of it, but it's on my phone, which I'm using to film. This is totally not a project that I'm used to stitching. First of all, I don't do full coverage usually. Second of all, my rule is I need to see a project 3 times and fall in love with it before I purchase it. Not this one. I saw it on Etsy and I had to have it. And it is a full coverage. It's not a huge full coverage. I'll show you a page because you can't get anything from this. This is the 20th page. So there are 20 pages. I printed it out, but then I decided I would try Pattern Maker, and I am here to tell you that it's a game changer. Like, it's so much fun. So lots of new things with this project. My first time using Pattern Maker, my first time using gridded fabric. This is what I have so far. Yeah, that's a tree. This is a pattern. It is called Scandi Santa Gnomes. So you can look for it on Etsy that way. I don't even know who the designer is because it's not on any of these pages. This is the floss list. It's all DMC, thank goodness. I'm looking to see if I can find a designer and I am not seeing any. So if you're curious, just look it up on Etsy, Scandi Santa Gnomes. Oh, wait. No, this is just more. Oh, yes. Celtic Rose Needlecraft on eBay and Etsy. So these are all the threads. Let me open it up. The colors are amazing. Like, oh, they just scream Lynette. And so this is going to be my winter stitch. I don't think I want a separate snow day stitch with this one. I think I just want to stitch on this as much as possible and get it done as soon as possible. I think if I'm remembering correctly, I'm about 4% done. So, and I started it in January, and I didn't stitch on it much in January and February because I was also trying to do my, the companion piece that I showed you. So I'm hoping that I will make good headway on this winter. I am definitely a seasonal stitcher, so there's nothing about this that is calling to me right now. But in winter, I will definitely want to stitch on it. Okay, so that's 6 of my 7 WIPs, and that's it. Which, yes, that's an unusual amount of projects for me. Usually I am much more comfortable keeping them on one hand. The Daleen WIP will be done soon, so that will bring me down to 6. But I finally figured out what I want to do for my America 250 stitch. I was hemming and hawing about whether I was going to do one, but I was like, it's a once in a lifetime. Like, I feel like I need to do something to, to commemorate. But I also knew if I was going to stitch something, it would be, I wanted it to be something that I would want on my walls always and not just for 1 year. And then I found out that the 2026 special theme for the needlework department at the fair is America's 250. So that kind of put me over the edge. I like to participate in the special contest when I can. And how that works is any anything within the handwork department. So crochet, knitting, sewing, cross stitch, needlepoint, whatever. They all get this special theme, and they compete against each other. I think they give out like monetary prizes for the top 5. So I like to kind of challenge myself and participate in that when I am able. This current year, 2025, the special theme is summer picnic, and there was just no cross stitch that I wanted to stitch with that theme. Yeah, there's a great one that I considered stitching, and it's the one with the watermelon and the ants, and I forget who even stitched it. She had a trunk show at Stitch New England. But anyway, I decided it wasn't my aesthetic to like hang in my home, so I wasn't going to stitch something just to be able to participate in the special contest. So I'm not participating in that this year. So next year I will. So anyway, all of that to say, I have finally figured out what I'm going to do. And I'm waiting for the 1, 2, 3 stitch delivery. And I will probably start that after the fair. So before the fair, I need to finish the Daleen project. I need to finish my bell pull project. I need to FFO all of the things that I'm entering into the fair. And so that'll be my priority until Labor Day weekend. And then after the fair, I will start my America 250 project. Usually I only stitch red, white, and blue between May and Labor Day. But I'm gonna need to stitch on this all year round in order to have it ready for the fair next year. And I want to obviously finish it during 2026 anyway. So I will still be at my same number of WIPs, although if I get the bell pull done, I'll be down to 6 WIPs. So anyway, those are my plans. So I do have some autumn stitches that I would like to get to in October and November, but we'll see. So September, we'll be starting the America 250 and also Dutch Beauty. Both of those projects qualify for Back to School and Sampler September. So those will be my 2 things for September. October, November, we'll see about autumn things. I usually like to have a good autumn project going, but I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Usually around the week of Thanksgiving, I'm ready to switch over to Christmas stitching, and so I will switch over to my Scandi Gnomes and stitch on them in December and January and February. It is a very winter project. It is Christmassy, but I'm going to keep it up on my wall all winter long once it's done. And so that brings us to the new year, and I have no idea. I haven't even given 2026 major thoughts, other than I know that I'm going to be stitching on Dutch Beauty and my America 250. So there we have it. We're at about 30 minutes, which is where I like to keep my It's been a good summer. It's gone by fast. We take little one back to Syracuse in less than a month. It's been great having her home. Eldest is home for good. So we only have to worry about one back to school this year. All right. I wish you great, happy stitching, great summer. Stay cool and hydrated. Bye.